A Sweet Mouse Story of Mine is a 1965 Tom and Jerry cartoon. This is, of course, directed by Chuck Jones and Maurice Noble, and it's got 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I do think it's maybe one of the cleaner Chuck Jones cartoons. I think Chuck Jones had a bit of a problem with taking over Tom and Jerry because Hanna-Barbera's cartoons were so perfect that it's impossible to watch these without comparing them to how great Hanna-Barbera ones were. But actually, judging this in its own right, if I'd never seen Tom and Jerry before, I'd say it was pretty good. The quality of the animation was very crisp, it was very bright, some really great facial expressions, really enjoyed the music that went with it. I think it was pretty decent. As regards to the narrative, it's not necessarily the most creative or the most unique, and in fact, it was mostly just involving a lot of running. Usually, Tom and Jerry handle a lot of props and they have a lot of different things. I was going to say weapons. I don't know if that's exactly the word I want to use, but that kind of thing where they can interact with each other. And here I feel like they just did a lot of running around a building, running around the pavement, and that means that the pace does feel very quick. And the movements of the running, absolutely fine, no problems with the way it's animated, but I did feel like it was maybe lacking in something. There were a few bits that I did like. I don't want to spoil too much, but for example, there's it's an exclamation mark that I actually did laugh out loud at this bit. There's an exclamation mark, and Tom grabs hold of it as he's flying through the air as if to kind of grab onto it and stop falling, and he realizes at the 11th hour that he can turn it into a question mark, and maybe it will help him drift down more slowly. I won't say exactly what happens, but things don't go to plan, and I genuinely had a little chuckle because I think the timing was perfect. And that's definitely something that's worth praising about this. The timing of the jokes and the sound effects that went with them, I think were completely spot on. But I do feel like it is lacking just a little bit of something in the narrative to make it a bit different to pretty much everything else. There is an air horn that's involved, which I didn't really care for that much. I don't think it was that interesting, to be perfectly honest, for me personally. And something I actively did not like is Tom's laugh. And I honestly hated it. Now it's actually Mel Blanc who did the voice of Tom, and honestly, it's very rare that I don't like Mel Blanc's work, but I just don't feel like the voice suited Tom at all. Well, the laughing voice, the tone of the laughter, I don't think suited Tom. I just prefer it when they're silent characters. I really do. So that aspect of it I definitely didn't love. But as a whole, I thought the cartoon was okay. Definitely not the best, but I didn't mind watching it, and there are certainly things about it that I thought worked okay.